Hey, thanks for hanging back out with us again today. Today I wanted to show you a little bit of layer pouring. We just did a recent sun gill pattern, and I thought it'd be cool to show you how we did that, because there's a few different techniques, and as always you can change the colors up. It's the techniques that I'm trying to show you. So if you're ready, we'll get going. See, we have the Angling AI 7¼ inch open pores on, and we're turning and just warming them up to get the chill off of them is all we're doing right now. And in the microwave we have a little bit of orange, and we're gonna see this little tiny fin. We're gonna pour just that fin, hopefully. So when that's up to temp, we'll show you what's up with that. Alright, now when you're working in layers, the best thing to remember is you want your translucency of each one. You can't have one color more opaque than the other, because then when all the colors build on top of each other, they're just going to mask it up. So you got to make sure you got the colors thick enough that you can see the color, but still thin enough. Oh, that's a bad example. Let me get another little bit here. Let this cool up a little bit. Here you can see it on the knife too. See, thin enough, you can still see the color of the knife through it. But thick enough, you can see color. So you gotta be right in between of those sweet spots there. This is dead on plastic orange. You see? You can see right through. You can see right through the color. See? It's still translucent, but you can obviously see the color. So that's very important stuff. Because if you have each layer is the saturation is too thick, then you're just gonna, if the saturation is too thick, then it's just gonna overwhelm each color, and it's gonna be too thick of a color. You want each color to blend with each other, not overpower one another. So we're gonna get this in the vacuum chamber, and I'm gonna show you how I poured just that little tiny fin. Alright, temperature is very important when you're doing layer pouring. And remember, our molds are on a warm setting, and we have our plastic up to temp. I'm going to try to do this on camera the best I can. You see the little fin there? What you want to do is start on the thickest part. Hope you can see this. Start on the thickest part of it and flow it down, and then just let it run. And see, it didn't fill it in all the way, so that one will not work. Sometimes it takes a couple times to do it. Let's try again. Yeah, let it flow down in there. You see that? Just the fin is filled in. Let's see if I can do another one real quick. Remember, in the thickest part, drop some in the thick part, and then just let gravity flow it down. See that? Almost right there. Just like that. Okay, so we're gonna get the other ones done, and in the meantime we're going to get some more dead on plastics in the microwave for the next layer. So we'll get those going, and we'll be right back when that's ready. As you can see, that's where we're at. We just got the orange fins poured nice and easily in there, nice and carefully. And now we're heating up the next layer. and we're going to show you how that does when we're ready. Alright, we got our beautiful Dead-On Plastics, and we're going to use some Dead-On melons. Excellent green color with a kind of a shift a little bit to a brownish green. We got a little under half a cup. Now we want, remember the saturation level, so what we want to do is start low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 drops. So to build color, you always want to build slow. And remember, it's always going to look darker in your cup than what it is. See, that's still pretty thin. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, that's a total of 20 drops of Dead-On Plastic melons. Yeah, that's looking real good, real good. Remember, you would want to have the color, but you don't want too much saturation. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, now this is going to be a capsule part, so we're going to flake it up with some, this is a 0.06 or 0.60, and as you can see, I'm putting a major glob into it. Major spoonful of it. And then another excellent flake from Dead-On is the Meteor in the 0.04 or 0.40. We'll just dash that in, not quite a whole scoop. Now it looks like a lot of flake, but it won't be once we're done, because this is just a capsule pour, so a lot of that flake will just get poured right off. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Look at that. Very cool. Very nice color. Alright, so we're gonna get this one in the vacuum chamber, get all the air bubbles out of it, and then we'll show you how we do that step. Alright, now it's important to point out the differences between skin pouring and capsule pouring. A lot of bait makers confuse it. This is what we call skin pouring, where it's placements of thin layers of placements of color. Now this next step is capsule pouring. Capsule pouring is different, where you pour it out, dump it out, and make a thin layer across the whole bait. That's capsule pouring. Skin pouring is placement of color, and capsule pouring is fill of color. Okay, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do, we're going to start this in the head, and we're just going to pour it down to the tail and then dump it out right over that orange fin. Okay, start in the head, go down to the tail, and then just dump it out. And look, it didn't go all the way to the end, so just fill it in real quick. And that's what we're doing. That's where we're at right now. Okay, let's do another one real quick. In the head, and then run it down and pour it out. Just like that. Might as well do these other, there's only 2 more. In the head, run it down, pour it out. And the last one. In the head, run it down, and pour it out. And that's it with that color. Alright, so now all the stuff on the ends You're just gonna pinch it off. Just pinch it, and if you do it right, you can see that. Look at that. Sometimes you can get lucky and it happens like that. Pinch it. And a nice little downward and away action. Sometimes you can get it to peel all the way. Of course, there's always those spots that want to be a pain. But yeah. Okay. So the other ones are done. You see how we lay this out now? Okay. So now you can still see the orange through the green. So our saturations are good. The one color didn't overwhelm the other color, but both are still super thin. Okay, so now we're gonna paint some lines in here. Alright, for the lines we're gonna use some Works black dotting. And what we do is put a little bit, we don't need much, just put a little bit in there, not much. Now, if you've been watching the videos, you've seen us do this. You're gonna put a little bit on the tips, brush off the excess, and then what we're gonna do, I like to go all the way across both molds. So we're just gonna start and do vertical lines all the way across. Try to be as steady as you can. And you can usually get a couple of lines in each dip, you know. And right over that orange, so that way it gives the illusion that that's going behind it, so you can, and that adds a layer of depth too. Right across, dip a little bit more and wipe off the extra, and that's it. And there you have it. So there's that step. Nice even lines, and see now both molds will match. So the patterns will match. Alright, so what we gotta do now is we're gonna put these back together, and we're gonna work on the body color of it. Oops. Put in the hook slots. Now we're gonna clamp these together and get rocking on the fill color. All right, we got our belly color, and we're gonna use, I love this color, Dead on Plastic Grit. It's like kind of like a dirty brown or a dirty white. Now remember, our saturation levels, you don't want to do too much. So we're just going to start light. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, now the Dead on Plastic's website, they suggest about 25 drops per half cup. We did about half of that. We did 13 in here. So we're just going to stir this in and see what this gives us. I love this color. It's an excellent belly color for so many different baits. Yeah, see, you can still see the knife right through it. So it looks darker in the cup. Remember, it's always going to look darker in the cup. But you see, you can see right through it. Okay. But now we want sungill. So what we're going to do is take some Dead on Plastic's yellow, and we're gonna just add a couple drops slowly. Let's start with, come on, 3 drops, and just to get like a mustard, like a Dijon mustard color. But remember, you want to do small because I can't stress the saturation levels enough when you're doing this technique. If you have too much of any color, the colors won't blend together. There, see that? Nice little mustard. Let me put a swatch down here. Okay. And see, can you see that? You can barely see it, but this is, let me get a microphone. This is what it looks like normal, and then this was 5 drops of yellow. And that's right where we want to be. So you can still see through it, right? See the difference in colors? You can still see through that yellow, so we're right where we should be. So we're gonna throw this in the vacuum chamber, get all the air out of that, and then we'll pour the bells. All right, we got our beautiful mustard colored from Dead On. Now you see the hook slot in there? We're gonna pour it right to the top of that hook slot. And remember, the molds are about 220 right now. See it flowing over that hook slot? Right like that. And just right to the top of the hook slot. Nice and slow pour. No rush. You can see it right there. It starts going over the top. Let it flow. And right about there, stop it, and the heat of the molds will push it where it's got to go after that. Now you remember the capsule pour we poured in the melons color? Well, we're going to prepare that, and we're going to fill the top in with that. So I'm going to show you a different way of how we prepare that real quick. Alright, here we got some more beautiful Dead On plastics. Now you remember the melon color? It was kind of thick on the outside. Well, if we put the same amount of drops in, because of the saturation levels again, if we put the same amount of drops in, you're going to see a line where the colors meet, because you're going to have this layer of color on top of the layer of color we already put in. So what you want to do is cut this layer about half as much as you put in the other one. So the other one was about 20 drops. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to do 13 drops. And that's it. That's all we're going to do for the top color. No flake, nothing like that. We're just going to make sure it's mixed well and get all the saturation levels. Saturation is very important when you're doing open pouring, and when you're doing a layer pouring, saturation levels are very, very important. See that? You can still see through the knife a little bit. So now, when we pour this color, it won't overwhelm the other color that's already in it. Alright? So we're going to vacuum chamber all the bubbles out of this, and then we're going to pour that top layer real quick. Alright, we got our beautiful color. And now we're just going to top off those molds. The molds we turned up, they're about 300 degrees. And I like to just pour at one end and let gravity work its way in. Maybe give it a little nudge here. And fill it right to the top. Just a hair above the top. Because it is going to shrink a little as the plastic cools, so you want to add just a hair more. That way when it shrinks, you'll have flat tops. And you won't have that little concave in the top that happens sometimes. Nice and easy. Right to the top. Just like that. Alright, now we're gonna let that sit on that hot plate and for about 5 minutes, gel all those together, and then we're gonna kill the power off and let it cool down naturally on its own. And when we come back, hopefully all of our saturation levels are right and we'll have a pretty cool bait. Stay tuned.
Let's see it. I want to see it. I want to see it.
All right, we're back and they're all cooled off, so hopefully all of our saturation levels are good and we'll have a pretty cool looking bait. All right, let's crack them open, see how we did. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that, huh? Notice all the color. You can see colors. All the saturations are correct. Pretty cool bait. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's see the other one. Oh yeah. And there's the other one. Pretty cool. Here we are outside. Always better view outside. Alright, let's check that out. See all the levels? Different layers of saturation. You can still see the color through it. Looks like those stripes are running behind that orange. Nice illusion. And you don't see a big line from the transition from the top color to the capsule pour. Very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Alright, so there it is. I think it turned out pretty cool. You can always change the colors around. It's the techniques, the saturation levels. Once you can get those the levels right, you can really make some really cool patterns in your baits. But we appreciate everyone hanging out with us, and we appreciate all the new subscribers that we're getting. Help us get to 1,000, and our first 1,000 we'll have a big giveaway, and we'll do it live. So and it's Father's Day weekend, so we want to tell everybody, all fathers out there, happy Father's Day, and we appreciate everybody, and until next time,
Thanks for watching Sweet Boys Outdoors.